Last week, it was the 10th year anniversary of LeBron penning the essay via Lee Jenkins of Sports Illustrated to announce to the whole world that he was coming home and re-signing with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Man, I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget where I was at. I was at work, just doing my work, and I happened to turn on the radio, and it was on 92.3 The Fan. That's the local CBS radio station here in Cleveland. And I heard Andy Baskin break the news that LeBron was coming back to Cleveland. Now, I couldn't get excited like I wanted to because I was at work, so I didn't want to disturb anybody. But man, seeing it on social media, breaking Twitter, everybody's talking about it. My oldest brother, he was excited that LeBron was back in Cleveland. Because he kept on telling me all along while he was in Miami, he coming back to Cleveland. He coming back to Cleveland. I'm like, man, come on, dude, get out of here. Like, bro, get out of here. Because I didn't believe it at first. I didn't believe he was coming back to Cleveland because he was in such a good situation in Miami. And also, I felt that they definitely could put a team around them where they could contend for multiple championships for years to come. But then I noticed something when LeBron was playing in Miami his last year. It looked like he was in Cleveland all over again, carrying the team, because Wade started to break down due to his injuries. Chris Bosh, he was still battling his health issues. So it was up to LeBron to lift this team to greatness. And yes, he helped them. He definitely was a big part of them getting back to the finals, where they ultimately lost to the Spurs in 5 games. So that did open an idea in my head that LeBron may come back to Cleveland, because in some of his interviews, he was talking about the Cavs. He was talking about what they were doing over there with Kyrie and Tristan Thompson. He was looking at Cavs games while he was still with the Heat. So it definitely made it a possibility. And also, we in Cleveland, we were excited that day because we knew the possibility of what could come along with him coming back. Having him and Kyrie play together, getting another star, which ended up becoming Kevin Love. Also, we knew that this time we would be true NBA championship contenders and be ready. During that first stint, the Cavs weren't ready to be NBA championship contenders because they had to deal, of course, with Boston, the big three with Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen, as well as the Magic, who beat the Cavs in 6 games in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2009. But this time, it was going to be different because finally the Cavs had the cap space and the assets to build a true championship team around LeBron, and definitely felt like this was it. This was the opportunity for the city of Cleveland to finally break their championship drought. And I'll never forget just watching a lot of the news clips, on the internet and the local news here in Cleveland, how everyone was just so excited about LeBron being back in town, and also some of the national clips as well. This was a big story around the world. I saw the clips on CBS News as well as ABC, NBC on YouTube, and listening to 92.3 The Fan, having them talk about it all weekend. Man, that was the hot topic of the weekend, of how this team was going to be built. How this team will definitely be a championship contender, for years to come. And just building up to that excitement of opening night, finally seeing LeBron put on a Cavaliers jersey once again. And I'll never forget that night when they opened up against the Knicks, man. It felt like a Hollywood premiere. You had a lot of celebrities here. You had Kevin Hart, Spike Lee, many others. You had a big party outside of Cleveland. Matter of fact, I remember they broadcast it on TNT. And it was definitely a big party. Imagine Dragons performed. It was just a big buzz, not just around Cleveland, but the NBA. People were just anxious to see LeBron come back home and deliver Cleveland a championship like he had promised all those years ago. And ultimately, he did in the most historic way in 2016. Man, if that wouldn't have happened, then 9 times out of 10, Cleveland would still have this championship drought.